The ball on the tee. We're set for football. And we are underway from Santa Clara. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. So here are the 49ers now with a long field ahead. Leading them out, someone who took the league by storm last year is the most famous Mr. Irrelevant ever. From Iowa State, it's Brock Purdy.
And there's a word that constantly gets thrown around with this guy when you talk to anyone in the building. Potential. They're sky high on what they believe he can grow into in the role of a starting quarterback. In addition, there are plenty around the league who think that as well. And years from now, he can still be leading this offense out.
A second down throw for Purdy. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. Big strides, look at him go. He may go. George Kittle, touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, 87 yards. And the 49ers go down the field in just 2 plays to take the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
So following the touchdown, here's Mooney back out to send it away. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. So here are the Lions now backed up for their first drive. They're brought out by a former #1 overall pick coming off one of his best seasons ever in year 7 of his career, now in year 8, Jared Goff.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game, almost like basketball, where both teams press and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Goff. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Goff. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. To throw is Goff. That's to the tight end, Laporta. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 39. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. To the air again. Goff. Slant pass. He's got Reynolds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left. Now it's Goff. He'll get it inside the 20. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 18. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Throw left side, caught by Laporta. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A very important third down conversion right there, because when you're trailing and find yourself this deep in enemy territory, the kicker's not even part of your thought process.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Jared Goff scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Lions are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it was capped off by the quarterback sneak for 6. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one. That's just flat out a beautiful throw right there.
It was a rope. That's maybe the speed you would see on a slant, but he threw that downfield with that kind of pace.
Now, if he throws that one with any type of arc, puts a little air under it, that play doesn't happen. He had to fire it in there, and he did exactly that.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double-team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
And he is going to have the 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Had the offense humming on the first drive. Not much has changed here on drive number 2.
No, and I think a lot of times confidence just really kicks in for a team. They may have been confident going into the game, but once you prove it on a drive, it's hard to get out of that mindset, isn't it? And look, let's face it, we can always lock in on the skill position, guys. But those big fellas up front, they're really making this offense go early in the game. I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. It took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Purdy on the sneak. And, boy, that's going to be close. He didn't get much at all there, but he got the first. Looked like they might have held him defensively, but the referee signals it will be a first down. These two teams all tied after one. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Here we go, Shaq. Go.
McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
This time they'll throw it. Here's Purdy. Gets this one to Juszczyk. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Purdy now to throw off the play action. Blitz coming and down That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. They go play action here. Purdy. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
And his kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks, you tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Goff now looking to throw. That is caught by Laporta. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Flush to his right. Oh, what was he thinking there? It's easily intercepted. Picked up by Diamador Lenore. And the 49ers are going to get it back here just past the 35. He exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball, and that one was picked off.
They almost gave it right back to him there with another interception of their own. And to be honest, he probably should have caught that and picked it off.
And he knows it, and he'll see it in film, and he'll see it in his dreams tonight when it's all said and done. But you almost felt like the excitement had been ramped up, and they were trying to get a big play right after that one.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing here, Purdy. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football, but you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away, and it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Lions now. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
On 1st and 10, Goff. That's complete to Laporta. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Another big gain or two in succession as this one goes for 32. Goff on first down. This is caught. Touchdown. Sam Laporta from 21 yards away. And the Lions have taken the lead.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. And San Francisco gets set to go here. As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final. And now this is intercepted. My goodness.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
After the interception, here's Goff. There's Laporta. He's got it. Touchdown, Lions. A great play there. A beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game.
49ers 10. Jack Cox to kick off for the Lions.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. Here's the option. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This offense converted once on fourth down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Now on fourth down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And how about this for a setup? The ball will go over on downs at the 1-yard line. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. Goff going to keep it himself. And he is over the line for another rushing touchdown.
Is he a quarterback or is he a tailback?
Jared Goff scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Lions will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Past midfield, look out. Still going past the 30. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, 49ers.
Well, he made the right choice by result, but a little bit surprising because now with touchbacks coming back to the 25 instead of the 20, When guys fielded that deep in the end zone, I think most coaches want them to take a knee.
Yeah, it's resulted in more kneel downs. Not right there. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Going deep for Montgomery. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And the Niners are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Forced out to his left. And it's a fumble. And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
14.
Here's Goff. Favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Goff now looks to throw. Complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
And the Lions first down.
On first down, Goff. And this is caught at the 8. And he's going to get him another first down here as he's able to dive forward to get as much as he can.
And goal at the 4-yard line.
Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Montgomery is in for a Lions touchdown. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and they actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Aiden Hutchinson able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They'll go for it. Here's Purdy. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And they work this out past the 25. 21 yards there. A big play on 4th down. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And he powers his way up past the 30. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Aiden Hutchinson able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down. And it is a big letdown there defensively. They somehow allowed to convert on 4th and long. Purdy. Well, same target, same result. It's Kittle. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. That's complete to the tight end, Werner. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
4 yards on the pickup.
Once more, Purdy looking to throw. That's caught by Werner, the tight end. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. On 1st down, Purdy. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. There's Charles Harris getting home for the sack.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, Someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense is going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
The Niners on third down. Just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 15. Again to the big tight end, George Kittle. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 12-yard line. And now they're in the hurry-up. Purdy looking to throw on first down here. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Oh, yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And nearly a touchdown as they finally stop him down at about the 3-yard line. So they get the interception and almost as importantly, a big return after that.
And who was the guy that saved the touchdown, partner? The guy who threw the interception. A lot of times, he just gives him the old Olay, but give him credit. He went old school. He was determined not to make this a pick six, and he got there in time to make the tackle.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So he jumped as a safety. You might know a thing or two about that from your playing days.
Well, I remember creeping up near the line of scrimmage on certain blitzes or certain coverages. Never jumped off sides, though.
Not once. And he is over the line for another rushing touchdown.
Is he a quarterback or is he a tailback?
The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Lions take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Goff looking to throw. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more. And the last time out, they had the good drive going. You get in the red zone, they throw the interception. Not their first pick of the game either, so we'll see if they're more careful, more cautious here on this drive.
Yeah, nothing worse than repeat mistakes, right? You end up coughing the ball up, you end up throwing a pick, everything goes awry. And now, points don't go up on the board. I just heard a fan scream out, I thought the idea was to score points. Yeah, they're getting a little restless too.
And he's going to be wrangled down quickly after the catch up at the 45-yard line. Purdy to throw it on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
Purdy off the play fake. And his throw here's incomplete.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 31-yard line. Play action. Now Purdy. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Kirby Joseph. And the Lions are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Still needing 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. First down, here's the run with Montgomery.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
It's a gain of 6.
Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he'll work down inside the 45.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Encroachment defense.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Following the penalty, Montgomery. And able to get this to the 31. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
He's brought down at the 31. A gain of 4. It's now
On second down, Montgomery. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that is...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, partner, when a team's up this big, this late in the game, I always wonder what's their motivation, because if it's me, I'm thinking about pulling on the reins a little bit. But for them, I don't think it's in their DNA. It's not their head coach's makeup at all. I think his opinion is, you stop us. We're not supposed to pull back ourselves.
It's complete, and this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.